Namaste to everyone. I am Nikhitha, co-founder of SSCRD and TEDxPESU. While studying aerospace engineering, a lot of my friends had not known what is that they were studying. In fact, many thought looking at the stars and planets, and by taking aerospace engineering, they would be learning more about it. Whereas what we were learning was about rockets and satellites and aircrafts, and they were left with disappointment. And that's what made me start both the organizations to teach about space, to create awareness about space and the opportunities that are there. In fact, one of my goal at that time was to tell about space to everyone in India, and that's what we were doing through our programs. It's completely hands-on that they get to learn so that they know how to use it in their daily life as well. And guess what happened? We also got the opportunity to create educational content for ISRO. Through ISRO, we have now created a lot of educational programs and the content, and that is given for all the students. Now, while I was studying and working and creating this content, what I came across about space is totally different. Let me ask you all, what comes to your mind when I say the word space? You may want to shout out. Planets, okay. Stars, very good. Very much expected answers. So stars, planets, rockets, satellites, that's what we get. But today, the topic that I want to talk to you all is space in India. Now, what comes to your mind when you hear the word space in India? ISRO. I was pretty sure about this word that would come out. Amazing, you're all right. But do you know that it's not just that? We have a lot of them who are contributing towards the space in India, be it in terms of research, the technology, innovations, projects, and much more. So today I'm here to take you all to the journey of what's happening in space domain here in India. What are the opportunities that are there? What are the skill set that you must have or anyone must have in order to be in the industry? And how can you contribute towards the space industry? So space, as I said, is not just ISRO. Space in India is a combination of ISRO, large companies, startups, and academia. So to begin with, as you all said, ISRO was started or even thought of by this great person out here, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai. He was a person who looked into the world back then when this entire world was in problem of war and the loss that we had when the British just left and the condition that we were in. And being a person from the science background, he took science, particularly space science, as a tool to improve the nation. And that's how ISRO was formed. Right? So ISRO, mission of ISRO today is in fact to serve the people, to give the best for the nation, to bring out the innovation which helps the common lives of the country, like all of us. How does it happen? We build rockets, we build satellites, we launch them to space, and these satellites are looking at our Earth, giving us enough data that today a person like farmer, fisherman, you, me, everyone is using the satellite data in our day-to-day life, right? Starting from you want to know the weather, you want to go to some place that you didn't know, you use map. We want to know which crop is supposed to be grown. We want to make sure that our country is safe. All these things, we need space technology, right? And it's not one or two persons' work. It's thousands of engineers, scientists who are working across the country in order to give us all of this, who are playing a major role in our day-to-day life. I'm pretty sure all of you know what are these. In fact, this is the this is the successfulness of ISRO, I could say, within just 1 year. This is just this year that we had a Chandrayaan 3 mission being successful. We launched a satellite to study about the sun, and then we were recently successful in the Gaganyaan abort mission as well. With the Gaganyaan mission, we will have the first Indian and the next set of Indians going to space from India with Indian technology and from Indian soil, right? So that's what is going to happen soon. We will never know in the coming days our future generation, one among you would be going to space from India, being an astronaut from India, which is going to be a big thing. So this is what is happening in ISRO, right? And in fact, the government is supporting several people to be part of these missions, right? And that's when I introduce the next set of people, which is the industry. Who are these people when we say industry? Industry, to just give you an example, this is the recent Chandrayaan 3 mission again, right? If you look at it, this is a lander, and then there's a rover coming down. Do you think everything over here, which you see, is built in ISRO or made by ISRO people? The answer is no. A lot of people come together and contribute towards the things of ISRO. Be it, if you look at it, solar panels are developed by someone. And the thrusters that you would need over there are built by another company. So ISRO looks and takes the different parts and subsystems that's required for the mission from industry. And that's what is industry that I'm talking about. So if you look at space in India, industry plays a very major role. Now let's look at some of the companies that we have. In fact, some of the popular ones, HAL, Vajra, Godrej Aerospace, L&T, right? Anand Technologies. Now these are few of the industries who are indirectly contributing towards the space in India. Just to give an example, Vajra Rubber Products Private Limited provides the products which are made up of rubber for ISRO. HAL builds the, if you have seen the rockets, ISRO rockets, the huge cylindrical tubes, that's built at HAL. Premier Explosives Limited provides propellants, right? So if you look at it, all these different companies are providing things to ISRO and the entire space ecosystem. And that's how they are playing a very major role. To let you know that, I'm pretty sure again all of you know what rocket it is. This is called PSLV, and it's also called as workhorse of ISRO. ISRO's goal was to do research and evolve in the field of technology. When ISRO built this rocket and are so good at it, what they have decided now is to give this technology to someone else and say, see, this is how it is supposed to be built and this is how it should perform. Now you go do it and you launch it by yourself. Because ISRO is now on to focusing on something new that was not there. So ISRO is now focusing on something called as commercialization or productionizing. So ISRO has just given this to HAL and L&T, telling you build it, you launch it. Right? So that's how everyone comes together to play a major role here in India. Startups. This is something that I like because I'm in this segment, right? So what are these startups? In fact, startups are of 3 different domains. We call them upstream, midstream, and then downstream. Upstream involves all the companies which builds rockets, which builds satellites, which provides the launch services, which provides even the small subsystems that's required for rockets and satellites. Midstream involves connecting these rockets and satellites to the people through the communication system. And then downstream means how do you use the satellite data. Today we have 6,000 plus satellites orbiting our Earth. And every satellite is giving us so much of data. Now what do we do with it? Right? I'll give you a few examples of what startups are doing with that data. But what we could do is Earth observation, navigation that I just spoke about, right? Communication. So it's the application part of it. What would you do with the satellite data? And that's what is downstream. And all these three major segments forms something called as global space economy. So let's look at few of the Indian space startups that we have, and some of the popular ones I have put up here. Skyroot, Bellatrix, Agnikul, InSpaceCity. Now these are companies which are looking at building the rockets and the systems, the satellites. Companies like Dhruva Space, Pixel are building the satellites, right? So I will take you through few of the startups and explain you what they are doing. So Skyroot is a company which is building the rocket. In fact, other than ISRO, if anyone is able to build a rocket here in India, is this company. And it is built, this company is built by normal people like all of us, right? And then we have Pixel. Pixel is another company which is building satellites. In fact, they started this company when they were students. SatSure is a downstream company. They take the satellite data and tell the farmers which crop should you grow based on where is their land, what is the nutrients that are there, how is the weather. And they say you grow this crop, your yield is going to be high, and that's how you make your profit. And they support the banks. They tell the banks to give them the loans in order to make their dream come true. Digantara, as I said, we have 6,000 satellites here around the Earth. Among 6,000, most of them are debris, as in they are not working today. And they again cause a huge threat to the Earth when we go for the space exploration. So this company is focusing on how do we reduce the debris. Since I am the woman co-founder of my company, I always look at the women and the girls being in the space domain. And these are few people who have inspired me in my very beginning of the career. Neha Satak, who is a co-founder of Astrom, has built a company which is aiming to give you satellite internet, right? Internet which directly comes from satellites, which helps even the people in the rural part of India get internet. Another best example that I would like to give you how satellites data is used. This is my friend Devalina, who's a founder of Numerate company, which has developed an app, and through this app, the fishermen can go to this exact location where they would say that here is the place where you can find more fishes. You just go there, fish, come back. That's what is happening here in India. And that's how we are all being part of space ecosystem in India. Startups, and it is said that there are more than 100 plus startups today here in India. And we all have created so many opportunities for the youngsters. Well, the last part, academia, where I am working in as well, right? What is this academia? Institutions where you do research, institutions where you do projects, universities are all part of academia. So what happens in academia? I'll just give you an example of how academia is playing role in the space industry. This is something called AstroSat, which is called as the first Indian space observatory. Now, this is doing a lot of research on planetary science, earth science, the cosmos, and all of it. And who made this possible? It's not ISRO. It is TIFR, IUCAA in Pune, Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bangalore, Physics Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad. So if you look at these institutions, organizations, they are not companies. They are research institutes, they are colleges, they are universities, and these are all researchers who are part of the space industry or space ecosystem. What happens with ISRO and India and academia is again on these lines. So you all can go check out how you can be part of ISRO and the projects that happen out there. In fact, something that motivated me to get into space industry was this one project. Is anyone able to identify what is this? This is your college, okay? So back when I was studying, there was a news that PES have launched a satellite, okay? And this is your ground station right here in PES College. This is how even students can be part of space in India, the space ecosystem that I'm talking about. How can you contribute? You work on the project, you do the research, and you start your own company. That's how we all can be part of the space in India. To move forward, how can we be part of all of this, right? Most of us as students think that it is the marks, it is the grade, it is the certificates which would help us. Let me tell you, it is not. After speaking to almost most of the startups that I mentioned there, talking to the founders, I asked them, what is that you look at when you hire people? None of them said we look at the grade. They said, we look at the skills that they have. We look at what are they good at, what are the projects they have done, what is the experience they have while they are student itself. So what I am telling you all is go out and get experience right from now. And start doing a small research just by yourself. Get support and do it. And that's how you can start being part of the space ecosystem here in India. And any help you need in learning, getting mentorship, we are there to help you and guide you to achieve your space dreams. That's TEDxPESU, preparing the next generation of space pioneers in India and across. Thank you very much.